seen him last night. Homie roller E-class, mad cheese in a stash, still a deadbeat dad.
What's up, guys? It's your favorite Kiwi coach. So today we're going to talk about left wrist extension, kind of what it causes to the club face, as well as kind of ideas on how you're going into left wrist extension. Why are you doing it? So let's get into it. So I got a player on the right, I got Jim Park on the left. Jim Park's usually always my model. So anyways, we're going to take these guys up to, we'll go a little bit above P2. Pretty much hands level the hips though. Alright, cool. So we can definitely see a measurable difference here. So player on the right, you can see that the club head is already level with the shoulder line. And we got Jim Park right here. Club head, height-wise, is kind of level with his, just in between the navel and the sternum. So the reason why, and you guys might even kind of try to go off of camera angles or different and stuff like that, so let's get into that before we can get into this, to give this argument a little bit of ethos. So player on the right, the camera angle is actually slightly higher than than Jim Park's camera angle on the left. So if you think about it common sense wise, if the camera angle is higher, his club head should actually look a little bit lower than it is. So if we actually had his camera angle the same that Jim's was, his club head would look even higher than it is right now. So this player's got a bunch of radial hinge in the right wrist. So whenever we get this move where we got a lot of radial hinge in the right wrist, it causes the left wrist to go into that extension look. There's a reason why you see guys that are trying to hit flop shots get a lot of radial hinge, because it gets that extension in the left wrist, which opens the club face, which makes it easier to hit the ball higher in the air. That's your typical flop shot. If you were to teach something like that, that's what you're going to teach: a lot of extension in that left wrist and a lot of radial hinge in the right wrist. So as we bring this player up to the top, look at how his toe is pointing straight down to the ground. So that's a really open club face at this point in the golf swing, which is not the end of the world as long as he gets a bunch of flexion in the downswing. But as well, because of his radial hinge and kind of the sequencing of his rotation and with the body in the backswing, he's a little bit out of position. He's got a little bit of arm runoff. Right elbow's maybe a touch too far behind him, kind of retracted just because hips haven't quite opened up enough. You can see that his left knee quite hasn't extended as much as Jim. And because of that, hand path kind of drops a little bit behind him, which gets him even a little bit more stuck, which is kind of a good way to work an open club face, is getting swing direction more out to the right, which kind of helps with if you hit a slice, most likely your swing direction and path's to the left. And if you have an open club face, that can hit your weak slice. But if you have a little bit more of an open club face and you swing a little bit more to the right, you could actually start hitting some draws with that. So again, ball flight laws is important. But anyways, let's get back to it. So again, for this player, to get rid of his extension move, he's going to have to feel like he gets a lot less radial hinge in the right wrist. So basically, once he gets, he's going to do one piece to the thigh. Once he gets to the thigh, he'll have a soft fold in that right elbow, kind of right around here, and that would be the amount of radial I would keep for this player. Then I would focus on feelings of just rotating the body from here correctly, right? Getting the shoulder axis a little bit steeper, letting the right knee extend a touch, getting the hip to get a little bit more depth at the top of the swing, kind of matching Jim Park over here on the left of the screen. And that's going to get that player with a better wrist condition at the top. And from there, if club face is still open, there's one or two things you can do. Basically from P2 to P4, we can work on ideas of getting more flexion, which will be a lot easier if he gets a lot less radial. Or we can just get the player's grip a little bit stronger and a little bit more in the fingers, because I can't quite tell where this guy's grip is just from the down the line view. But anyways, guys, that's how you fix. If you have extension in the left wrist, there's a lot of reasons, but this particular player's reason, I think it's a common reason too, is he's just getting a little bit too much wrist hinge to start, which is getting that left wrist into extension. So to fix that, we got to get one piece to the thigh, soft fold on the right arm, keep that hinge that he has right there, don't add any more, and just get the rotation and the sequence of the body good from there. Alright guys, hopefully this helps.
17 with 3 kids, locked down for life. Should've chose me. She bought the OG.